I remember the advertisement in PS1 magazine for this game. It showed Ferrari Formula 1 car which got ran over by a tank. It was quite funny and creative as many other ads from the 90s, so I got interested in this game. The reviewer gave it a 6 out of 10 and said that the graphics looks chunky and amateurish, but praised the gameplay by saying that it is freakish and demanding. Tank Racer was developed by Simis and published by Grolier Interactive in 1999 for PS1 and Windows. It is basically a racing game with tanks, inspired by Mario Kart because you can collect various power-ups during the race. I only played the demo version when I was a kid, so I was curious how does the whole package plays. It starts off with a nice CGI intro of tanks roaming around the streets. After that you can pick single race, cup race or multiplayer modes from the main menu. In a single race you only have one track unlocked, so it is good to play the cup races to unlock more content. You need to beat the Bronze Cup first, with 4 races available, then Silver Cup which has 5 racetracks, and lastly the Gold Cup has 6. Each cup has its own 4 tanks to choose from. Each one of them has different colors and different attributes as well. Every race consists of 3 laps and there are 8 tanks in total, including yours to compete. You always start on the last position as in many other racing games of this type. Winner gets 10 points, runner-up gets 6, third place gets 4 and fourth place gets 2 points. You need to have a certain amount of points, otherwise the game will tell you that you haven't qualified to compete in the next race, even if it is within the same cup tournament. I can tell that it was not easy to win the bronze tournament at first. It starts with the village racetrack, which is quite easy to win, but then it gets more and more difficult. You need to get some practice and knowledge of the racetracks before you start winning. But even then it is not a walk in the park. Especially when you try your best at certain tracks like this damn swamp for example, and you still finish out of points. It is really frustrating when you have almost perfect 3 laps, but you are fighting somewhere in the back. The difficulty can be very unbalanced here, which is a big minus for me and it takes all the fun away. On the other hand, it is very enjoyable to destruct most of the environment, mainly cars that are on your way, so you can make them look like pancakes. Shooting opponents with your cannon does barely do anything unfortunately. It will just slightly move them from their racing trajectory. Even though there are power-ups to help you catch up with opponents, it is not easy to collect them because they often fall outside the optimal racetrack. What's even more frustrating is that they often fall directly in front of your opponents, so they always get them before you do, which gives them a huge advantage. For example, in Crash Team Racing you had 4 boxes along the track and you could always get some power-ups or weapon for yourself. Here, definitely not. You often need to derail from the optimal racetrack to get something, otherwise you have nothing to help you catch the tanks in front. And there is no damage system here, so it really doesn't matter how many times you hit the other tanks, they will still remain unharmed. The strongest weapon that you can do something with is a huge explosive shot that will slow down whoever gets hit by it. Many times the frustration took over me because of this and I had to turn the game off, which is never a good sign. I am not someone who gives up easily, but this type of things really take away all the fun and motivation to play further. Graphics look unpolished and rough, but these cartoonish looks somehow fit into this type of game. Environments are quite variable, although there are not many racetracks here. My favorite one is the village, which is also the first track you will race on. Tanks look fine, but it could have been better, just like everything else in the game. Soundtrack is one of the stronger parts of this game. Each track has its own fitting theme, which is typical for 90s club music. Tank sounds are also believable, because you can hear the metallic cracking while racing or hitting someone. Multiplayer can be more fun because you can choose between a battle or a race, and there are a lot of arenas to choose from. Overall, I will give Tank Racer a 5 out of 10. I think it would be more fun if the graphics were more polished and if the difficulty in some racetracks wouldn't be so damn high. But it is a good game for a rainy Sunday afternoon, especially in multiplayer mode. The cover art shows 2 battling tanks with explosions all over the place. I will put Tank Racer behind Iron Man, which has the same score on my PS1 tier list, because I enjoyed it more than this game. Let me know down in the comments if you have ever played it or if you have some memories connected to it. At the time of the review, this game is quite shockingly expensive on eBay. The prices start at around $145, going all the way up to $720 for sealed version. I hope you enjoyed the video. If yes, you can give a like, hit the subscribe button, and ring the bell to receive retro gaming reviews every week. That is all from me for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember, do not underestimate the power of PlayStation.